Take that!
Usually it would be possible to bring a metal object into the facility undetected.
Because of the security gates, right?
Correct. We already know that checks one of the gates We already know that checks that one of the gate... We already know that checks at one of the gates haven't been entirely thorough of late. Namely, the gate at the entrance to the detention centre.
The gates only used to scan people, and the owners of the ring of the facility are only subject to a cursory check.
Are you telling me the chest set wasn't put through the metal detector?
It should have been. Alas, it seems the guards have grown a little lax in that regard of late.
Knight took advantage of this little oversight and had Mr. Saint bring him the chisel, hidden inside his pocket chest set.
That does answer one of our questions. It suggests the chisel was indeed Mr. Knight's and not Mr. Keynes's.
However, we still have one rather pressing problem to address, that of the security footage in which Knight is attacked by a dog. How does one explain if Mr. Keynes is not the culprit?
But then, how do you explain the prints not being the murder weapon? That one's a real free piper. The court, too, finds itself wanting for a satisfactory explanation.
Wait, sir, I think it might be time to show you another one of his secret weapons. Introduce secret weapon number 4, Little V. What sort of name is that, detective?
I came up with it myself, sir. Anyway, you can use it to analyse video footage. An excellent idea. Perhaps you might finally see that I'm telling the truth.
Who knows if there's anything to be found, but it's worth a try. Alright, want me to talk you through how to use it, sir? Since I'm not exactly familiar with video analysis techniques, perhaps I should hear him out. If you could run me through its functions, detective, that would be most appreciated.
Yes, sir. Basically, you just got to do what you always do. Examine anything that catches your eye.
And I can examine things with triangle, I see.
Next up, see the controls on the bottom of the screen? The pounds on left and right let you rewind or fast forward. You can use the middle one to pause. Get used to those and you're golden, sir.
It seems I can also press R1 or L1 to fast forward or rewind the footage, and crossed pause.
When a video is paused, you can go to previous frame with L1 or next frame with R1. Or use the same control panels I showed you earlier. Lastly, I better explain how to zoom in. Like the old cursor with the area you want to take a closer look at, is the panel in the bottom right and little V will do the rest. It's got those 2 sparing arrows on it, right? Can't miss it, sir.
It would appear I can zoom in by pressing square too.
By the way, even if you zoomed in, you can still examine stuff like regular view. You can make use of previous and next frame to get a good look at what's really happening. Only thing you can't do when you're zoomed in is play the footage, there's that.
I see, and how do I zoom out again?
Use the panel in lower right again, sir. See how it's gone from expanding to collapsing arrows on there? That's because you zoomed in. That about sums it up. Let's fire little V up for real. Remember, just examine anything that catches your eye and it'll do just fine.
The footage from Knight's holding cell. Other than the victim being attacked by that dog, I can't see what else it might show us. But I suppose we're wrong. What would we be looking at instead? Could the person in the footage be someone other than Knight? If so, could whatever's attacking them be something else too? I should keep both questions in mind while reviewing the footage.
You never know what you're going to see once you start looking things up close. Check every detail, sir. You'll be able to find something, I'm sure.
What in this footage seems odd? The figure's reflected in the mirror here too. Is that a hat? Say, didn't it look like the hats the guards wear, sir? Oh geez, is that what I think it is? Have there any reports of one of the animals attacking a guard recently? Have there been any reports of animals attacking a guard recently? Not that I heard of. So this may not be a guard at all, but someone dressed as one. Perhaps I might shed a little light on the matter of the hat.
Take that!
So no guards are reported being attacked by an animal as far as we know. But we did hear about a guard's spare uniform being stolen. Could the person in the security footage perhaps be someone disguised as a guard? Someone attempting to escape without being noticed? Guard disguise, guess it might work. Wait, were we just talking about someone? We were indeed. Someone seems to have successfully made his escape. If the person in the footage isn't Knight, then the creature may not be a dog then either. You're right, sir. Let's zoom in and check. I must be seeing things. What I need to do is figure out what the person really is. Something else in the footage can provide me with a clue. I have to keep looking. Oops. Ah. Wait, that's... I suspect we may have made a critical error in judgment. What we're looking at here is no dog. This animal is... a bear. It's a bear, not a dog. The paw prints from the photo I took? We're not canine, but ursine. A bear? So could that mean? Yes, I think it could. After all, who else do we know is such a pet? We'd assumed it was Knight in the security footage.
It was his cell. It's hardly a crazy theory.
Perhaps, but now we know the hole under the bed is no longer only a possibility. Whoever had access to the tunnel could very well be the one caught on camera.
Who was that, Mr. Edgeworth? Would you go to tell the court who you believe the person to be?
The person in the security footage is...
Take that!
I believe I know who our guard in disguise is. It's none other than Rocco Castellato, the prisoner who recently escaped this facility. I'm confident it's him. He was assigned a polar bear cub as his companion.
The bear in the video is all black.
Indeed, and we have evidence that explains why. The evidence that explains the polar bear's dark fur is...
Take that!
Recall, if you will, Frank saw its testimony. the rubber glove I dropped. Would you care to explain why it's so dirty? Of course, it's not from all the pet treatments I've been practicing. I was giving one of the animals a mud pack right when the incident happened. I see. Around what time would this have been? Let's see. The show had already started around 9 AM perhaps? Because the more mud I applied, the more in the zone I got, the darker the animal's fur became. There's no transplant like the transparent zone someone slavers an animal with thick black mud. While the circus performances was underway, this one was giving the animals a mud pack treatment. And that animal could have been... Indeed, our polar bear. Mr. Edgeworth, your latest dissertation simply introduces yet another contradiction. Objection! The footage of the security camera. I fully understand, Your Honour, and your doubts are entirely justified. Mr. Solid mentioned applying the mud pack while the circus performance was underway. This does indeed introduce a new contradiction concerning the security footage. It does? Yes, let's put it this way. When would you expect the footage to have been recorded, Kay? Right after he applied the mud pack treatment. Would have been around 9 AM. In which case, something isn't right about the footage. Really? Why is that?
Take that!
Mr. Solid said he administered the treatment at around 9 AM, in which case the security footage should also show a time of around 9. However, the timestamp says 6:42. The day of the murder, the prisoners all went out to the yard to watch the circus. All except 3. Mr. Canis, who remained in his cell at maximum security, Mr. Solid, who was administering a mud pack treatment in the workshop, and Rocco Carceretto, who had been awaiting that precise moment to put his escape plan into action. I believe he entrusted the bear to Mr. Solid before entering the tunnel. The bear then slipped out of Mr. Solid's grasp and ran after its human. Mr. Solid would have then left the workshop to pursue the bear, at which point he saw Mr. Canis' dog retrieving the murder weapon from Mike's body. It all fits perfectly, except for the security footage, which could have been recorded at around 9 AM. However, the timestamp is 3 hours off. Why would the timestamp be wrong? Detective, I'd like you to have the security camera examined right away, please. I'm back, sir. I just talked to the guards and... Seems like the time codes can slip on these cameras if they lose power. What? They're pretty old, sir. I guess the clock stops when the power's off. Which would mean the power's off for approximately 3 hours at some point. That's not all, sir. You remember our night denied seeing the keys? No one believed him, considering, he seemed kind of like the only suspect. Turns out that wasn't all he said. He also said he was knocked out cold like the other guy. Which may not have necessarily been a lie. Darlings, there you all are! How goes the investigation? Is there anything I can do to help things along? Actually, there might be something we can do for you, Warren Lagarde. The escapee, Mr. Carceretto, I believe he may still be on the premises. He's disguised as a guard. Here's the proof should you need it. We're reasonably certain the person captured on this tape is our man. If I'm correct, he might even be right here in the room with us now. Hey, Mr. Carceretto, we've been wearing a bracelet, right? Yes, a bracelet that could easily be hidden under the sleeves of a stolen uniform. Furthermore, the doors out of the prison proper don't have these sensors to detect the bracelets installed. If he avoided the doors with the sensors, he could simply wait for an opportunity to finally make his escape. I suppose he could. He'd just have to avoid the workshops and the cells and... oh my! He's one of you, isn't he? He's here right now! Look, it's Teddy! Hey, pause off. Could you mix off me, you big palooka? Thank you, Teddy. Very kind of you to confirm our suspicions. Ugh. Dang it, kid, if it wasn't for you, I'd... What a thing to be loved. What a thing it is to be loved, eh, Mr. Carcerato? I'm almost envious. Guards, apprehend this man! A moment, if you will. I have some questions for our would-be escapee. If we're to learn the truth, I need to speak with him. With your permission, of course. I can hardly say no now, can I? Well, come on then, hit me with your best shot. Mr. Carcerato's escape route led directly into Knight's cell. It's hardly possible he has something to offer. Tell me what you were doing on the day Mr. Knight's body was discovered. So it was you guys, huh? You're the ones who found my secret getaway tunnel. You know how long it took me to dig that frigging thing? I had me a guard uniform, a hole dug, a plan in place. I went for it on the day you found the guy. Then this little guy just had to come right after me. The sack of fur was covered in mud too. I had to go back to our cell. I would have gotten away with it if somebody hadn't off night and brought in your buns down here. You claim to have dug the tunnel just now. How exactly did you do it? Well, use everything I could get my hands on, see? Hammers, spoons, you name it. Every dime I had in this cockamamie fixer. And look what I got to show for it now, huh? Don't be disheartened, friend. Tomorrow is another day. There's an outside chance Mr. Carcerato and Knight met face to face before Knight's death. I should see what other details I may extract from him.
Hold it!
The tunnel... Shut up! Wait till you tell him to hold it! The tunnel you don't know nothing. You don't know what I had to do. And if I'm caught this fixer monk. And a grovel and kowtow day after day after day. How are you gonna give me back the hours, huh? The days, the months? I can't get a word in edgewise. Never should stick your nose in my tunnel, never.
Hold it!
So the tunnel was all your own work? Every inch. You see anybody else in my cell when you were there, That's quite the effort, even for an athlete. Now I think about it, that's an insane amount of digging for one guy. You don't even know the half of it, kid. It ain't like I had a choice. Trust nobody and don't get caught. Them's the rules a con's gotta live by. You know, the rules of being a great thief are pretty similar. Okay, I'd rather you didn't start sympathizing with the suspect. I was just joking, Mr. Edgeworth. It ain't no stinking joke to me, you punks owe me.
Hold it!
The uniform that was from the fixer too?
Sure was. Heard he had something on one of the guards. Had the guy swipe it from a pal's locker.
And you were wearing it when you were crawling through the tunnel?
No, when I got dirt on it, I had to hold onto it till I got to the holding cell. Once I was out there and all dressed up, opening the cell door should have been a piece of cake. Here we go, as I thinks. Freedom beckons, then the thermal jumps on me.
Which would be the moment captured on camera. I see. I'd be grateful if you could add that to your testimony.
Hold it!
Opening the cell door should have been a piece of cake, you say?
Sure, anything else seems easy after dragging yourself through a hole in the ground.
And you are familiar with the layout of the detention centre even though you live in the prison?
Why wouldn't I be? It's not like I've never been there before.
If he's familiar with the detention centre, then he'd surely be aware, unlike the doors in the main prison, The holding cell doors are locked with actual keys. I'm sure Mr. Carcereto would have needed that particular piece of evidence to make his escape.
Objection!
You claim leaving the holding cell would have been a piece of cake, as you put it.
Yeah, got a problem with that? We can make it a problem if you catch my drift.
Even once you reached the Knight's cell, you still had another door to contend with. How exactly do you plan on opening it? Mr. Carcereto, I posit leaving the cell would have been a piece of cake only because you had the key.
I don't got no stinking key. I didn't need one. It was a piece of cake because the door was open. I walked right out.
Yes, I suppose Knight's cell was vacant by that point. There would have been no reason to lock it. It was indeed unlocked when I went to examine it myself. Perhaps when you'd finally succeeded today that it truly was unlocked because it was after the murder. But you had attempted to escape previously.
The security footage shows you tried and failed because Teddy caught you.
Which was during the circus performance, before the body was discovered. The holding cell was still locked at that time because no one yet knew Knight had been killed yet. Therefore, you must have had the key and the cell on you. Without it, your escape would have been impossible.
Are you saying, could he really have...
I believe he could, yes. The theft of the key was in fact perpetrated by none other than Mr. Carcereto, the one who had attacked the guard. Not just the guard, Knight too, all to gain possession of the guard's keys.
It wasn't me, you lousy bum. I don't even know this Knight guy.
After all, after you stole the keys and went back to your cell to avoid suspicion, then you waited for the perfect moment to escape, a moment when the prison would be almost deserted. The moment of the show, just before the discovery of the body. Unlucky for you, that particular attempt was thwarted by your furry friend.
Says who, huh? Got proof, genius? This ain't your win yet. Ah! Knight knocked the guard out for the camp and everybody knows it.
Don't play games with me. Knight was as much a victim as the guard in this case. As a matter of fact, I have proof that Knight had been attacked in his cell.
Take that!
That proves it?
Indeed it does.
Yes, I think I see it. Very victimy indeed.
Mr. Ashworth, that piece of evidence is absolutely meaningless.
Really? Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
If only she weren't here. I'll try and recall the evidence we found in Knight's cell. Something in there that suggests it mustn't really happen between two of them.
I guess you have nothing after all, huh?
The blood on the ground.
Take that!
We found traces of Knight's blood on the cleanly wiped floor of his cell. What could possibly explain such a thing other than him having been attacked? It was you who attacked him. You ambushed both of them and stole the keys.
Why, I order. What's with you, huh? The newspaper wiped that blood up good. Ain't no way you could have found it. Okay, why do you think you had to wipe it up anyway? If they checked Knight in the guard's hands, they would have seen those two never came to blows. The blood would give up the whole game. Ain't no way they don't figure out there was a third man in the ring. Once they started sniffing around on the floor, they found the tunnel in a heartbeat.
So you wiped the blood to buy yourself a little more time so you could wait for a better opportunity? Sadly, the opportunity you sought wasn't good enough to get you clear of the prison, was it? Hand over the keys.
Right in the kisser. Oh. KO'd by a lousy stinking bum. Fine, want the keys? Here, choke on them.
Overruled.
Wait a moment. If Mr. Casaretto here had the keys...
Indeed, Your Honour. Your theory relies on Knight having used the keys he allegedly stole to escape his cell. That's the only way he would have been able to enter Mr. Saint's cage and be moved to the workshop. Unfortunately for you, we now know that theory can't possibly be true.
Ah! No!
Guess it's changed things up a bit, yeah? Now the only person who could have moved Knight's body is the one person who knew about the tunnel. No, you gotta be freaking... Mr. Casaretto, you're under arrest. Come quietly now, pal. You got the wrong guy, I didn't do nothing. I knocked out the two chumps and stole the keys. After that, I went right back to my cell and waited for my moment. Next time I went to Knight's cell, there was no one around. I mean, nobody. Plus, his body was found in the workshop. You think I managed to my way in there or something? I couldn't even have gotten out of my cell.
Indeed, you only had the key to Knight's cell. You couldn't have left your own cell back in the prison. But Mr. Canis' dog could. It was not only you, but Helmut who moved the body from your cell to the workshop.
I get it now. You're saying he wasn't the only con in this conspiracy.
Indeed, one could easily imagine that Mr. Casaretto and Mr. Canis might have worked together. Mr. Casaretto could have killed Knight and dragged them back to his cell.
Then Mr. Canis' dog could take it from there to the workshop.
There's no restrictions on the animal's movements within the prison. The route between detention centre and the prison proper, however, is tightly controlled. There's only one possible route, and only you could have taken advantage of it, Mr. Casaretto.
How can you be so sure, huh? Maybe there's more of them and you just don't know.
Something tells me that digging even a single tunnel was arduous enough.
Got that right. You try scraping more than one hole of dirt with a spoon. Lucky for me, I didn't have to dig the whole way. Someone already did a bunch of the work for me.
What? You didn't dig the entire tunnel yourself?
No, that when they put me in the cell. And all the way there from the well in the yard already. Even looked down the well to check it from there. Same tunnel, all right. I just make good on what someone else already started.
Then what was the original tunnel for?
Who knows? You're the one with the answers, pal. Maybe somebody else tried to break out.
Maybe the animals dug it. Like to get water from the well or something. I've heard more plausible scenarios than that in B-grade movies, Kay.
Well tried, kid. Ain't no water been down there. Come to think of it, a smell. Always smelled kinda nice down there.
Nice?
I don't know, smells sort of like dessert, I guess. It's a food cache.
A sweet scent, that sounds very familiar. Where have you come across a sweet scent before?
Take that!
Detective Gumshoe noticed a sweet smell when we were examining Knight's body. With the help of a police dog, we followed the scent to the body and traced its route along back through the prison. And that, Mr. Casaretto, was how we found your tunnel. Could the same sweet scent be what you noticed coming from the well? Very clever, Mr. Edgeworth. You mean to suggest this is evidence of the body having been moved through the tunnel? I do. Furthermore, Mr. Casaretto, you're the only person who could have done it. Nobody else had access. You have our thanks, Mr. Casaretto, truly. Finally, the truth comes into view. Now unburden yourself. It is time. Confess your role in this tragic incident.
What? You're not pinning this on me?
I'm glad to see we're finally in agreement, Your Honour. Oh, if only we were, Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Casaretto may have been an accomplice, but not of Mr. Canis, no. He was working with Mr. Knight. What do you mean? I don't believe he moved Mr. Knight's body.
Instead, I believe he let Mr. Knight the use of the keys he stole. You've got to be kidding me! Granted, it seems likely he attacked Mr. Knight, but that doesn't necessarily mean Mr. Knight was knocked unconscious as a result. What if he wasn't? What if he and Mr. Carceretto had reached a certain agreement? What kind of agreement exactly? Mr. Knight was plotting an escape for which he required means of leaving his cell. And here is the precise And here was that precise means in the form of the keys Mr. Carceretto had just stolen from the guard. Mr. Carceretto himself would need to pass through Mr. Knight's cell in order to effect his own escape. Mr. Knight need only shout and alert the guards, and Mr. Carceretto's plans would be ruined. And so, the two struck a deal.
Lady, the only stride I do is with my fists.
Oh my, you still deny it?
So, we're agreeing we still disagree.
Mr. Knight and Mr. Carceretto had Mr. Carceretto unlock his cell so that when Mr. Saint arrived he could escape into the cage. Mr. Saint was unable to move him from the prison proper just as planned.
Aha! And that took Mr. Knight to the workshop and he did the dirty deed. Were neither of you listening? The scent on Knight's body proves he was taken through the tunnel. It was moved from... You're pissing me off. It was moved from his cell to the...
Perhaps if you'd let me finish, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm not denying Mr. Knight's body was moved through the tunnel.
What are you driving at?
Is this a trick question? As you say, Mr. Edgeworth, the sweet scent shows the route the body took. However, it did not enter the tunnel from Mr. Knight's cell. How did it get down there? There's another possibility, one you seem to have overlooked. The well in the yard. Could a body not have entered the tunnel through there? The well in the yard? Oh yeah, that thing. Mr. Saint did not take the cage to the workshop, he took it outside. There he killed Mr. Knight and threw his body down the well.
The well's sealed tight, though.
Mr. Case dog then dragged Mr. Knight's body here to his owner's cell from the bottom of the well. On that note, I'd like to ask you to recall something. What was happening in the yard at the approximate time of the body's discovery? The circus show, right? Regina and Simone were performing for everyone. Wait, Simone? Ah, indeed. So you see how the body must have also... So you see how it must have also been him who disposed of the body?
Judge Gavelle is truly a formidable opponent. She so effortlessly adjusted her theory to fit the facts.
I propose Mr. Knight was taken to the yard and not the workshop. As we've established, Mr. Saint was off stage for 15 minutes. Ample time to throw a body down the well, I'm sure you'll agree.
Your deduction's impressive, Your Honour. However, even supposing Knight's body was indeed thrown down the well, you cannot conclusively say this was during the show. It could have happened at a different time.
My sympathies, Mr. Edgeworth, but it simply could not have.
What?
Mr. Carceretto was using the tunnel around the time the show began. Mr. Carceretto, did you happen to trip over a corpse while you were down there?
No, the place was clean.
If the body had been at the bottom of the well before the show began, Mr. Carceretto would have seen it. However, he saw no such thing. Which makes it somewhat difficult to support your theory. Furthermore, Mr. Knight's body was discovered in the workshop after the show. In summary, the body must have been thrown down the well and moved into the workshop at some point during the show. Tell me, who else could have done that but Mr. Saint?
Ugh.
What do we do, Mr. Edgeworth?
If the body indeed entered the tunnel from the well, things don't look good for Mr. Saint. Still, Your Honour, your theory is still just that, a theory. And I posit that you lack the evidence to back it up.
I concede that for the moment I do not.
May I suggest we investigate the yard again?
Very well. May the goddess of justice go with you.
Now then, to the yard, and perhaps we can finally put the case to rest. What's that sound?
Ah, is there a fire?
Did somebody else escape? Should we skip town too?
Darlings, please, there's nothing to be alarmed about. By which I mean, that's not an alarm, it's the dinner bell. I suppose it is rather alarming if you aren't used to it. Certainly scared the heck out of me. I'm so sorry, sweet pea, I hope you can forgive us. Alright, you two, back to your post, chop chop. As for you, Rocco Carsoletto, it's time you went back to your room.
Oh, fine, I get the picture. Come on, Teddy, we're out of here. Warden Lagarde, we'd like to take one more look around the yard now.
Darlings, don't you have homes of your own to go to? Visiting hours are over, I'm afraid. Tomorrow, huh?
No, it's imperative we investigate right away.
I think we've had enough excitement for one day, don't you? Murders, escapees, so eventful. It's time our guests went home to Betty Buys, isn't it? Yes, yes it is.
Ugh.
Come now, darling, don't make me bore you with all that I'm the warden, that's an order nonsense. Warden Lagarde is right. Her word is law here, and we must respect her wishes. Mr. Edgeworth, your investigation of the yard will have to wait until tomorrow. You may keep your badge for now. The matter of your standing can wait. I bid you all good day. What are you waiting for, kiddykins? Off you go.
Fine, at least there is a tomorrow for me. Judge Gavelle believes that Knight's body was dropped down the well and then taken through Mr. Carsoletto's cell to the workshop. Is that truly the case? Do the facts really support her theory? She also seems to believe Mr. Saint had to be the one to move the body. Was that really the only one with the opportunity to do so?
Come on, Mr. Edgeworth, tomorrow's another day. We'll figure out a way to save Simone, I know we will.
Yes, we will. I'll prove Mr. Saint is innocent beyond shadow of a doubt.